resolutions is to finally have the relationship you've been longing for. But to avoid the same mistakes you've made in the past, you need to make changes in your future. Here with more is author of Mrs. Right, motivational speaker and relationship coach Tony Gaskins Jr. Hello there.
Thank you.
You understand through personal experience how you do have to make those changes, and if you don't, then you continue a pattern that can be self-destructive in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So your early years, you were a preacher's kid.
Right.
But took a sharp turn when you got off to college.
Right. I kind of became an undercover agent, you know, on the other side of the fence, looking for trouble. And then I learned the hard way, and I had to find my way back, I guess, like the prodigal son.
Yeah, because we're saying you went out to play football, but got in trouble with the drugs and women and all that type of stuff can be very intoxicating.
Right.
And a lot of people find themselves in those trappings.
Right.
That could have destroyed you had you not made key changes. What was the pivotal point for you?
To be honest, it was when I met my wife. And that's why the book is called Mrs. Right, because it was like I was Adam and I found my real. And it changed my life because of her standards.
Yeah.
So it literally was a woman that changed my life.
Interesting point you just made there, because you say this in your book also, that a lot of times women feel if we don't bend and do what the man wants, then he'll leave us or not love us as much. And so your point is stand your ground, don't change you.
Yeah.
Instead, if you want that person to be better, have them rise to your occasion.
Exactly, because see, a woman is the backbone of a relationship. So imagine if the backbone is weak, then the body is weak. So when the woman becomes the floor mat, you know, instead of being the backbone, a man really isn't worth much.
Yeah. I think you got some amens over there. Oftentimes when it comes to relationships, because I hear girlfriends of mine and women just come up and say, where can I meet a good man? Where can I be a good man? The first thing that comes to my mind, if you haven't met a good man in 30 years, maybe you're not looking for a good man, right?
Right.
And we think we are, but the other problem we have as women, I think, is sometimes we take a man, we plug him into our already written script. And then we get upset because they're not delivering the right lines. It's like, no, you're supposed to do this right now.
Right.
So this fantasy person, we have to deal in reality.
Exactly, yeah. And the thing is, what I find is a lot of women are waiting instead of working. So you attract love by becoming love, not looking for it, you know? So if you're chasing it, it's going to run from you. But if you become love, then it's all around you.
It's kind of like a dog. What happens to a dog if you chase after it? Runs away.
Right.
When you run away from the dog, what happens? It chases you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first place it starts, if you find that you're someone making bad choices, it's not because they're all wrong, it's because of what you're choosing, and can be something wrong inside of us. I've been down that road.
Right.
All right, so the first thing you say is to become the CEO of your own life.
Right. So you have to treat yourself like a business. So men and women. Anybody that comes into your life, you put them on that probationary period and you interview them, you evaluate them every 3 months, and you have to be willing to promote, demote, or terminate.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure that they're an asset and not a liability. So sometimes we just treat ourselves like, you know, a nobody, and we merge our lives with someone that just drags us down.
Yeah. So, and check your references. You know the best place to check a reference, ladies, is the last girlfriend. Serious. She'll tell you everything you want to know and not, right? Okay. Begin the healing process, because sometimes when we have that revelation that we go, this is why I've chosen people who weren't good for me in my life.
Right.
You got to start that healing process.
And if you don't, that's what happened with me. I didn't heal properly. So the first 2 months of my relationship with my wife, she kicked me out because she would be on the phone ordering food. Who is that? Oh, you dating him, huh? Oh, that's your boyfriend.
Yeah,
and,
I'm just a pizza guy.
You know, this is Pizza Hut. Oh, his name is probably Paul Henderson. And you got it, you know.
Actually, it was Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Exactly.
Khakis? She sounds hideous.
Yeah. And anywhere we walk, instead of me looking where I was supposed to be looking, I'm looking where her eyes are. Oh,
right.
You like his jeans, huh? You know? And I was just so torn,
the jealousy,
so
which
hurt.
was basically a reflection on your own insecurity.
Exactly, because I didn't heal. And she kicked me to the curb.
Yeah, and that was enough to get you back in. All right, prepare and position.
Exactly. So a lot of times we just go to work and we go home. We go to work, we go home. So I say work on your brain, your brand, and your body. So you feed your mind, you get new knowledge. Then you work on your body, meaning you're working out at least 3 times a week. And then you build a brand. Everyone needs a .com. If you don't have a .com, you don't have a brand. So whether it's selling clothes, whether it's selling, you know, vintage, anything, you know, Have a brand.
Selling a maid service on our set right now.
Right, you know.
Yeah.
So you build those things, that's your preparation, and then you position. You get in the marketplace. You won't meet the other half just running home.
Yeah, speaking of getting into the marketplace, we have a couple of folks with some questions for you, starting with Tracy. Hi.
Hello, good morning. Well, my question is, I'm recently divorced and I was married 21 years. So what kind of advice can you give me for future dating? What to look forward to, or what do I have to watch out for? I'm just a little nervous about the whole...
That's going to be tough. Because it's been 21 years, so it's almost like being in prison, you know, and then you come out and now there's an iPhone. But when you went in, you know, there was none of that. So now you have to learn the game today because it's totally changed. So I'd say take at least a year off to yourself, 12 months, and just getting new knowledge of what love and a real relationship is. And then when you step back out into the marketplace, you begin to attract a new love, and it won't look like your ex-husband.
Thank you.
Interesting point of the taking time for yourself. And I know I went through that same thing, Tracy, where you know, sometimes we're afraid to be by ourselves, or we think it makes us look bad if we don't have a man. And I learned so much about me when I took that time off and spent it on me. All right, Sharon?
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year.
You're all chipper on New Year's.
I want to know, Tony, what does love look like for baby boomers in 2014?
Wow. You know what? There's so many men, you know, today that are baby boomers that been so focused on business that they didn't have time for a woman. So I see a lot of baby boomers getting ready to give up, but you can't because it could be your prime. And what I say is, you know, anything more than 10 years with a man is almost too much, you know, because he'll give you a headache. So if you're 60 years old and you have another 20 years, that's more than enough time. So don't be discouraged. It may be your prime.
Yeah, and the whole thing is we're living longer today than ever before. You know, I think around 1900, the world average was about 40 years old, so you had to get married at 12 and have your kids and be done, right?
Right.
But we're living longer today, and certain things happen, whether it's the divorce because you've changed since you first got married, whether it's a spouse passes away. There is time for love, second time or third time around.
Right.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For more relationship advice or to keep up with Tony, log on to greatdayhouston.com. We make them, but we can't keep them. Resolutions, that is. How can you turn the tables and really stick to your goals this year? Find out next.